Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Kim with Kim's Creations and Card Ministries coming to you live. Yay, live number two, episode number two. It is Saturday, December the 9th, 2023. It's 8:30 p.m. Um, Glad that you're here with me. If you do come on, please let me know you're here and where you're from, or if you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay. If you'll comment and like and share, and you could send me a message, you can text me or email me that you comment, liked, and shared, and you'd like a card. I will send you a Christmas card, and you could either share that and pass it on to someone or keep it for yourself. So it'll be one of the Christmas cards that I've done this year. It'll be one of my new cards. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the screen down and we'll get started on tonight's project. So give me a second to switch that out. Let's see. Good. All right. Come on. Get it to move like I need it to. All right. It was fussing at me for changing the orientation. Okay. I think I need to move this a little bit. Hang on. There we go. I said I'd have this better this time. Ah, there it went. I couldn't get it to move just right. There we go. And I got this one light that's glaring. I might have to turn that one another direction, maybe, so it doesn't glare so much. I'll try sliding my camera. All right, we'll get used to this, y'all. It is a learning curve going on here. I'll plug my iPad in, and let me go make sure I can find myself on the iPad so that I can see my screen and see what I'm doing here, so that I stay in the screen. Sorry about that. Come on my iPad. Okay, wait a minute. I found it yesterday. Okay, there we are, episode 2. Come on up. So, live episode number 2. Turn the volume down, and there we are. Now I can see my desktop. I don't like it so much, but it's there. Trying to get it to go this way more. I'll just have to remember that I barely got that side in there tonight. Okay, so last night we did we did a new Z fold. These were some I did, I think, during Christmas in July. So it's just this little fun Z fold here, and then and this was using that, I think it's One Horse Sleigh designer paper. So they're 6-inch designer papers. So last night we did a new Z fold, and I added some fun to it a little bit by adding some extra little characters to my paper. And so when we open this one up, we get the cute little box there in the center saying hello, and kind of a little surprise. But this is a great fold to use to display almost all of a 6x6 piece of paper that has a design on it. And then this is the envelope I'm going to do for this card. I will color my little deer and the bunny on the back to look like the deer and the bunny here. I just haven't done that yet. So tonight, now this paper is very similar. Obviously the colors are very, very similar, but this one has this big tree in it, whereas this one had the little house with the smokestack. So we're going to use this paper tonight and change up the card a little bit. It's a different kind of a fun fold. It's a little different. So here's one I did earlier in the summer. Opens like this. So it's a little different style of a fun fold. And so we're going to do that one next using this paper from the One Horse Open Sleigh designer paper. And the basic gray is what I'm using for my card base. I need to put my glasses on. Excuse me a minute. So we're going to use this one. We're going to take the 8.5 11 paper, cut it down to 5.5. And I think I moved that a little bit when I did it, so it's probably a little off. 4.25. We'll score it there first. And then, I believe it's 1.5. Measure for a minute is the next fold. I believe. It's supposed to be 1.5. Let me get this other one. It doesn't. The one I did over here last night, well, it's supposed to be 1.5. So we'll do 1.5. So let me fold this one first. And go ahead and score it with my bone folder. Bring that light back down. I need it at least a little bit. There we go. That helps some. And then I'm going to score at 1.5 on this one. And then we'll fold this piece back. Again, kind of like what we did with the Z fold, but this time it's a smaller fold going back. And I will use my bone folder again. And I believe last night I told you all how mostly I do this as a ministry, that I give cards to people to cheer them up. Hopefully people have a brighter day when they receive a card. So I try to make as many cards and send out as many cards as possible. And so that's why my Facebook page is Kim's Creations and Card Ministry. Creations with the K. So you can find me there on Facebook. I do post a lot of my finished cards on Facebook. All right, so this piece is 6 by 6. So first thing I need to do is we need to get it to fit this way on our page. So this is 5.5. I want to make this 5.25, and I'm going to cut it all off of the bottom. So I'll go right here at 5.25. Pull my, I think with my new desk layout, I'm getting most of my paper trimmer on here. As before in the past, I couldn't get all of it in here, and I think I'm pretty much getting it all in here now. There's the back of that one. We can hang on to that for something else. And now I've still got it 6 inches this way, but I need to cut it down. So first I'm going to just cut it, let me think about it from, I'm going to cut 2 inches off here. And so this is going to go right here. And then, see if I can remember what I cut the rest of this at. I think this one was, I'm losing stuff here. Stuff that fell on the floor. Stuff falling on the floor. There we go. So I believe I cut this side I want to be 2 3/4 right here, and then that's going to leave me a narrow piece for the middle, and it comes out at about 1 1/4, maybe a little bit more than 1 1/4. I need to turn it right side up. So to go with this piece, right, to go with this piece here on the inside, I need a small piece of white. I think I cut this one already right here. And this would be This piece is just under 2. It's 1 7/8, again at 5 1/4. And so it will go here. Our smaller strip of the designer paper is going to go right here. Let me close this cutting board. It's going to go right here. And the largest piece is going to go on the front right here. But if we want to close this, we can only put the adhesive on this side. Because if we put the adhesive here, then you're going to be back to just a regular fold. But if we put the adhesive just on this portion, it will be like that. You could leave this blank if you wanted, or you could stamp it, or you could put a plain piece of something embossed. I think there's that tree, that tree embossing folders, like if you embossed a piece of Lost Lagoon or Pretty Peacock and you embossed it, or even some other color that you see in here, embossed it with that tree embossing folder. You could put that there. That would be pretty. But what I did is I found a piece of designer paper that's in the annual catalog. The whole piece looks like this. I can't remember what it's called, but it's in the specialty paper section of the catalog. And I cut a strip of it somewhere. Figure out what I did with it. Well, here's one right here. I'll just use, nope. Yep. I know I cut a brand new strip of it, but of course I don't know what I did with it now. Here we go. Here's a strip that we're going to use. I need to cut it down to 5. Actually, I'm going to just leave it right like that for now, and I can trim off. 1 minute. I'm going to do it the whole way. No, I'll go ahead and trim it at 5 1/4. I'm going to do it this way. 5 1/4. And I am going to take a blending brush to this and tone down the white a little bit, and give it some Lost Lagoon color in it. I think that's all the basic paper trimming I have to do for this card. I will need a little piece of cardboard to cover up the mess that I made yesterday. And let's find a blending brush. Somewhere down here. Blending brush. Make sure I get that. There's not much color in that. Okay, and I need my Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to put a little bit of color on this just to keep it from being so stark of a white. So if you want to you're interested in getting a card from me, I would need your address. So you can text me. There's my phone number. You can text me and say, I'd like a free card. I'd like to share your page. Or you can email me there, Kim's Creations. Creations is with a K. kimscreations.cards@gmail.com. Or you can text me 864-752-5688. Hi, I liked and shared your video, and I sure would like a free Christmas card, and I'll send you one. But I'll need your address. And if you want to order or anything, again, call me or text me, and we'll get together and figure out about placing an order. If you want to use my host code, that you can win some kind, that you can get free products, free card kits, depending on what the order size that you get. All right, I'm also gonna take my piece of white that's going on the inside. I'm cutting these all messed up now. Let's put these back in order. There we go. And put some color on this one as well. I'll put a whole lot, but just enough to tone down the white so it's not so stark against the basic gray. So I think I told you all that we were having a birthday party today for my dad. On Monday, he'll be 92 years old. So we had a little birthday party for him today and had pizza. And the idea was to have pizza and apple pie and pineapple. But then that grew into chicken salad sandwiches, potato chips, a hazelnut cake, and brownie bites with ice cream. So lots of desserts. And it was good. Probably ate too much again though. Alright, and I want to stamp this in base, where did my basic gray go? Oh, there it is. I want to stamp this in basic gray. I'm using May This Season Be Filled with Peace and Joy. I'm thinking this is an old one again. Let me look. Yeah, this is one from last year, Framed and Festive. May this season be filled with peace and joy. I just, I don't have a lot of new Christmas themed stamps this year. Because there were so many from last year that I didn't even use. And so I was trying to use some of last year's. I mean, you can use pretty much just anything you want to. I'm going to turn this sideways so I can get to it a little bit better without, hopefully, without interfering with your view a little bit here. And maybe I can get it straight. Okay, I'm just going to hold it there for a minute, let that ink soak in. So, yeah, my brother and his wife were there. All three of my children were there. My younger daughter with her husband. And then my son brought the girl that he's been dating for a little while. And he subjected her to all the family stuff. Bless her heart. But she was a good sport. I think it went over well. And then tonight, after the little party, my older daughter wanted me to shop with her, so we went and did a little bit of shopping with her, and then came here. We're eating leftover pizza for dinner, pretty sure, because there was a good bit left over. Not as much as I thought might be. It wasn't terrible, but we are eating leftover pizza. I'm not really that hungry, so I'm probably not eating. And then she decided to spend the night, because it's like about an hour and 15-minute drive home for her. That's assuming the traffic is good and there's not a wreck on the interstate. But the weather's really bad tonight. It's been raining off and on all day. It's supposed to be raining harder over the next little bit, and she was tired, so she decided just to spend the night. So she's in the other room while I'm in here doing my little thing. And it's weird because I don't mind talking to y'all, but she's in the background there listening to everything I say, and it just feels weird. I guess she's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said yeah. I guess maybe my little doggy's cuddled up with you, is he?
No.
Huh?
No.
He's not. Thought for sure Brody would be in there cuddled on her lap, but he's not. Well, so you can see where I'm just taping, I'm just gluing these pieces down, and I'm going to glue this one down. It's going to go right here. And then remember that piece that goes on the front, we have to be careful with it because we don't want to put the glue in the spaces where it doesn't need to go. And then glue it closed where I don't want it closed. And I've been playing around, so I know y'all, I love the bear set, the very cute. And I've left the stamp set at my mom's house, but I've got a bunch of the paper here, and I just love the bear paper. And this piece right here, I had used the top for the other side of it and didn't want to mess this up, but I had used this top a few months ago to make a diorama kind of a card, but I wanted to save this. So I'm working on some cards similar to this where I can use as much of this page as possible, and getting it so you can see the scene. So it might be this scene and this scene, or maybe break it down into 3 scenes. I haven't figured it all out yet, but when I figure that out, I will show you that picture as well. Alright, I'm going to just go ahead and glue this one down. Again, I only want my glue right here. So this is how I do that. So I can do it on this edge here, and just do about a 1/2 inch's worth of glue. Okay, and then on this edge, and I don't want to get too close because I don't want the glue to squish out, but come along this edge and put the glue here. But don't go all the way to the edge because we know we've got to have a little bit of a border there. And so now from this piece of paper, I'll get the glue here, and then the glue here will be on that part. And then I can kind of line this up and pull it over far enough to get that scene on the page. Look at that. There we go. See, and I have a tiny, tiny seam right there when I open it. And, oops, make sure it gets glued down on this side of it too. There's no glue squishing out, so that's good. But I'm going to get my bone folder and make sure that adheres well. Just kind of keep it in place for a minute, make sure that gets stuck in place. All right, where'd my little pen go? I'm so bad about laying down this pen. I need to get me a pen cushion to put my pen in because I'm always losing it. There it is. I'm going to go ahead and stick it back in the little bottle for now. All right, so that should be where it's supposed to go. Actually, it's not. I'm going to have to come out a little bit with it so I can cover up this. Let's see if I can get it off. Yeah. So the last time I made this card, I put the glue by accident. I was just thinking, you're not really paying attention and thinking, and I put the glue on the whole thing. So, and there I'm kind of messing it up again, but it's okay. I can make it work. If I had not pushed down so hard on it to get it in place, it would be better, but it's okay. Looking for this little tool. This one right here, this end of a take your pick tool. Which I have one on a take your pick tool, but I left it at my mom's house. I believe I told you we're going over there to do some, I'm helping her make some cards. So rather than carrying everything back and forth every time I go over there to help her with cards, I left some of it at her house, including the tool that has this piece on it. Ashley, you okay in there? Yeah. I tore that paper a little bit, but that's probably going to get covered. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Try to get this out right here. Come on. Come on. With that last little bit, I got to get up. I'll do it from this direction, maybe. Come on up. Well, y'all, I might have to start over. Get another piece of paper. So do we think having my daughter in the next room made me mess up? Probably. Probably. So blame it on her. Because I'm not used to having somebody in the next room. It's funny, I'm doing this on the computer and people watch me every day, or, you know, as much as they watch me. And it doesn't bother me a bit that people are watching me, but when you're in the next room and I'm in here doing this, it's kind of disturbing. That's funny. It really is. I'm making a mess. Okay, I did. I made such a mess. And I wasn't planning on covering that spot right there up, but might have to be doing some creative, so I don't lose this piece of paper, some creative cover-up. I've got some adhesive remover somewhere. Here it is. Let's see if this gets a little bit, this little rubbery thing. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell this, but I've actually seen this in the dollar store. One of these things, and it pulls up unwanted adhesive. And the only reason I want it up here is because it's kind of thick and it's going to be bumpy on my paper when I re-glue it down. Hopefully correctly the next time. So I was focusing more on lining it up in the inside, and technically this is the piece I should have like put it up as close to that line as possible, because instead of looking at it, I should have been looking at this outside piece. And I knew that, but I didn't. Come on. Got a lot of that off, but a mess. Put that down. Clean up that mess a little bit. Get a little fingernail file here, emery board. Do it some more. So it's great that y'all are watching me live and see what you do when you mess up. And I always tell everybody, the ladies come to my house to make cards, and I say, y'all, I can fix almost anything. This was borderline. This is borderline, though, as being able to fix. I can fix almost any mistake. And this one might be questionable when I get through with the card. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how it ends up looking, and whether or not I can successfully cover up this mess. I don't want to pull any of that off because I've already torn my paper in at least one spot, almost two. What I'm thinking about doing is adding a little piece of cardstock right there, actually, to reinforce that a little bit and make it not so thin. It actually might be a little helpful to do that, because that is very thin right there. And this piece just happened to be the right size. So we're going to use it. Try to line it up. And mostly, I think, in the camera. And it's nice to be able to see that. Whereas I couldn't see that when I was doing my YouTube videos. I couldn't tell whether I was on the camera or not. Alright, we're going to try this again. Trying again. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to help with this a little bit. And actually, something I think I'm going to do to help with that situation is get a piece of ribbon and put some ribbon around it, and it's going to help cover up that mess I made. Yep, it will. It's going to help cover up the mess. But I need to do that before I glue it to the card. So I'm going to cut it here. Get some tape. And there's my little puppy barking. There he goes. What you barking at, Brody? Alright. So I told Ashley I would watch a movie with her after this video. I watch a Christmas movie. But Ashley got to think about what we want to watch. Every year I like to watch the first Santa Claus, the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. I like watching Home Alone, the first one. I mean, sometimes I'll watch the other ones too, but those are the ones I like to watch every year. I like to watch Christmas with the Cranks. I like to watch Miracle on 34th Street and It's a Wonderful Life. And then there's a few others, you know, that if I can get in, that I like to watch. And then we watch Hallmark movies. They're usually pretty predictable, but, you know, everybody wants a happy ending at Christmas. And I can't get that little hair to come off. I might have to just snip that with my scissors. A little bit right here. Get my scissors to work. In that little spot. Yeah, I did a number on this card. But that should help a good bit. But this might just stay in my sample box and not be going to anybody, but it can be a sample of this style of card. So that's okay too. So technically what I've got to look at is that this has to cover that. Because I could technically put my white piece of paper there instead of my designer paper. But you want that, when you close the card, you want that to be covered. And still get it on straight. And so I think I've got it now. And then let's make sure this goes down. I need to put a glue dot on the back of this ribbon so it'll quit moving around so much. I'll make sure I got it glued on this side again. Alright, we're not pulling it up this time, so I'm going to use the bone folder again. Make sure I got plenty of glue. Tilt that's down well. Okay. Grab a glue dot. Here we go. These bigger glue dots right here. Where did that little... Here it is. Oops, gonna break. I'm not sure I put enough glue that time. My little ribbon keeps shifting on me. I want to move it. Do that right there. Put a glue dot. Get the glue dot off. There we go. And now we can get that to kind of stay in place a little bit better. There we go. All right. We don't get up too close to it. Of course, I'm blind. Y'all can probably see the little bit of wrinkles there. I'm going to cover part of that up with my tag though. So my sentiment, which we'll work on now. So for my sentiment, I'm going to use, it fell on the floor a few minutes ago, I'm pretty sure I picked it up. There's the outside. More do with the inside. There we go. There it is. This is the other piece. And for my outside sentiment, I am using this Peace to You at Christmas. It came out of another one I could use. I could use Joy and Peace, but I'm already using Peace and Joy inside the card. So this one came out of a set from last year. This one, this really pretty set, Peace to You is the name of the set. Okay. That one was one of last year's. So I'm like, last year's nativity got put on, what do you call it, retired list. This year's nativity set got in the retired list. I might have to quit buying the nativity sets because they keep putting them on the retired list. That's kind of disturbing for me, but I don't know. And I haven't even used the one this year yet. I've cut out a bunch of the pieces, but I haven't used it yet. All right, so I'm going to stamp this here. And of course, this was kind of big to go on, small to go on this bigger tag. So I wanted to fill in that little space a little bit above and below, here and here, which I'm going to do with this and this. And these came from, where did these come from? Trying to see which set they came from. They came from Merriest Moments. This was from last year also. It's the one that has the last year one that had poinsettia, which is why I didn't buy this year's poinsettia. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this in the, I think I'm actually going to use, did I stamp off with Garden Green or did I use this? I don't remember. Let me see. I don't think I used this. I don't think that's the same color. I think I must have used Garden Green and then stamped off. Because it looks like, just because I wanted it to stand out a little bit more. Let's see. Ah, got a smudge. Oh, okay, good. That wasn't a smudge. Let's see. Oh, same one. Let's try this again. Yeah, I think I stamped off. I think. Or, of course, I could have used Pretty Peacock and stamped off. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure. This is going this way. And then I know I did the, Sweet Sorbet, just because it's back here still, for the little berries, and I believe I stamped those off also before I stamped them on my piece here. Did a couple of them just to add a little bit of extra. I wanted a little bit, tiny bit of a pop of color to draw your eye to this sentiment. So that's all we need there. And the way I did my background piece was I just cut this in half. And that part's not going to show, so it doesn't really matter as long as you get it close to being in half. And I'll use a little glue here. Just going to show a little bit of the Lost Lagoon color behind. Use my fingers and push that back up a little tad. There we go. And then some at the bottom. And that will go on the front of the card. I'm going to just set it aside for now. Move these out of my way so I don't get ink on things I don't want it on. And let's put my pen back in here. Because now we need to work on our special elements to make this card a little bit more fun. So yesterday I pulled out that little deer and that bunny from one of the older kits. And I said any little cute characters that you might have, you can do that with if you want to add a little bit of fun to your card. And so I'm going to add some fun to today's card with these both came out of, wait a minute, I had one cut already. Where did the cut one go? All right, Kim, where'd you put it? Had one that was cut already. Let's see, so I have to take the time to cut it. Put it in here. Maybe I stuck it. Maybe I stuck it in here. No, give me just a second. No, that's the bunny and the deer again. Well, I had one cut out, but now I don't know what I've done with it. So there's one. That was the one I'd already done. Two. Where are the other two? Find the other two. Strange. What I did with them. Sometimes I stick them under my mat, but they're not under there because I've got two more cards I had cut out, ready to go. Now, oh, here they are. Here they are. Just found them. Found them. Because I have something already cut out, and that'll save me a little bit of time. There we go. That will save a little bit of time. So I've already cut out this little guy. Here he is. I'll cut that little guy out already. So I'm going to move this one that I hadn't cut out over to this other side. Okay, I think that one over there. And the right one out now. Yay! Okay, and then I also am going to be cutting out, and this all came from that paper from the Very Cute set. Also the little bunny, I'm going to cut that out. And then I'm pulling in another element from, this is from this set that has the little hedgehog in it. This little bird came from Happy Hedgehogs, which is current in our current catalog. And I'm also going to use a hedgehog on one of these cards too. Haven't figured out which one yet, but I am. So I'll have to color this little guy and cut him out. All right, so I don't have to cut the moose or the large reindeer. I guess he's a reindeer. But I do need to trim out this little bunny. And I will try to stay in the camera here while I'm cutting. Now on the last card we stamped and cut a bunny, which we could do that again. This designer paper only had 2 or 3 bunnies on each page, which is interesting. As little as the bunnies are, you would think they'd had more, but they didn't. But I might as well use the ones that they've put in the paper, because the paper's not, since I'm cutting all the animals out of the paper, The paper's not going to get used for anything else. So I might as well use as much of it as I can. It's like the Walk in the Forest paper had the one that has the dark colored bears, the brown bears on it. And lots of like little tree sets and stuff. There was a page that had some trees on it, some big trees. And like you can cut out those big trees. But then there are tons of itty bitty trees. So I have all these leftover little bitty trees. So I'm like, what am I going to do with all these little bitty trees? I've used some of them on the insides of cards, but like these are the ones that were left over after I cut out all the big stuff. See, because there's one of the big trees, and there's a big tree. And then look at all those little bitty trees. So, all right, and now I'm going to do color my little bird. So I'm color the bird. With my blended markers here. Give me a piece of paper behind him. And I had an extra bird in case I mess up. And so I gave my mom an extra bird in case she messes up. I'm going to start with the dark Lost Lagoon. I actually stamped it in basic gray. I think the one I did on my sample I actually stamped with the Lost Lagoon. But going on that little piece right there. These little fuzzies on the bird. And I'm going to cut, I'm not going to cut out the flower. I'm going to cut around that little flower. So we're not going to use it. These wings back here. Just a little bit here. And I'm going to think, I didn't do this on my first bird, but I think I'm going to use it on this one. This is a Pretty Peacock. Let's see how it looks compared to the lagoon. It's much, this is which one? This is the light. Get the dark. Let's see what the dark looks like. It's a lot darker. I'm not going to use much. I'm going to put a little bit on these wings back here. Just a little bit darker back here. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit dark right here. Because I kind of want that outlined well for his extra little wing right there. And then the light Lost Lagoon, which is right here, I believe. No, that's the dark. I need the light. Okay. That's this one. And I need something for his little beak. I think I'm going to use Calypso Coral for the little beak. Sometimes I do better with this feather end because it's got a really light tip. That's really where I like that. I told you all about the markers, the Stampin' Right markers. Used to have that real tiny tip, and I'm going to put that, actually dot his eye with that. It's a very small little end. Get his little feet down there. All right, light Lost Lagoon. And I'm going to use the dull tip, and so I can kind of do little circles and try to blend the darker and with the lighter. so there aren't definite lines, but more like blended lines of color. And so if you're just now coming in, please say hey, let me know where you're watching from. And there, if you would like to get one of my Christmas cards mailed to you, if you'll text message me or send me an email with your address and let me know that you commented and liked and shared my video, I'll send you one of the Christmas cards I've made this year. I've made quite a few, and a lot of them are fun folds or special techniques or something like that. Well, I feel pretty good about that little bird. I'm gonna do my color lifter. I think it's back here in this box. Yeah. I think I told y'all I had a assortment of things I'm taking to my mom to help her get some cards done. I started helping her already, but we still have a good bit to do. Put a little bit right there. Lightening up there just a touch. Lightening right here around the eye. Just a little bit on the eye. And a little bit right here on this feather. And that's all I'm doing with that. And I'm going to fussy cut him out. Little bird. And I'll just cut that little flower off. If it were spring, it would be great. I think I told y'all how I took some Pool Party. This one's probably not going to work because it's light. Around the edges, because when it's hard to cut these guys out, and you end up leaving white space, it actually works out a little better to leave another color space. I'll have to use the dark Pool Party, my light when it is pretty much gone. And just go around his edges here, so instead of there being white space, it'll be just the tiniest bit of blue, and then it won't stand out quite so much, especially on this paper here. And then it's easier for me to leave space in the blue than it is in the white. I don't know what that is, but I have a hard time leaving white space, and they say at work it's better if you do, but I have a hard time with that. But I can leave color. It's either psychological or it has something to do with my eyesight. I'm not sure which. Or it might be a little both. I'll have to get kind of close to his little beak to cut off that flower stem. But I can handle that. Alright, there we go. I think with this, I didn't try to go up in between the two little legs. They're just too tiny, way too tiny. They would just be too flimsy if I tried to do that. Okay, there we go. Almost finished with this little guy. So cute. Cute little bird. I have another one somewhere. Oh yeah, pulled him off already to color him later. So there's my three little people that I'm 3 little cute characters that I'm going to glue onto the card to add some extra cuteness to the beautiful paper. The paper's beautiful, but I want some cuteness added. Get the cuteness factor. So I'm going to put my bird on the front, but I believe I want to put some a little bit of shadowing under the bird. So it's like, so I need mine. Is this light? This dark? Light. Oh, here it is. Light gray granite is what I'm using. And about right there. Like that. I'm just going to set him right there. Glue him right there. And if you want to see some of the cards I did with some of the other cards that I've used with this paper, and it's pretty much a lot of them, it was just the paper. I just didn't do anything like extra like this. I think I used some paper with a fun fold, like a bridge card. I might have put that little truck on a bridge card. But the rest of them is just the pretty papers. And you can see here where I was talking about it. Technically, I would have liked to have lined this up with this a little bit better too, but that's okay, because really, when you lay the card, it's not going to be like right like that. It's going to be more separated a little bit, so you won't see that division as much. So, and now I've got this little guy, and I'm going to put him over here. And since this doesn't fold, it's okay if he crosses over a little bit right there. And then we'll stick the little bunny down here too. Okay, so I need to ground this guy. I don't want to put him up that high. I'll put him about right. Put him about right here. So we'll put some more rocks. I think those are kind of like little rocks right there. So I'll put some more rocks here. Put one there. And one there. And one there. Okay, so that's going to go there. I think that's pretty good. And we'll pull the bunny. Here. Okay, and we'll glue that down. And then we'll just need to do our finishing touches with our sentiment on the front, and a little bit of glitter to make our snow glisten. Not glitter, but Winkastella. We'll add some wink. Add a little wink. We'll put some wink on the paper. A little bit of wink. Alright, so there's that guy. And, oops, a little bunny. Bunny. And it's going right here. Oh my goodness, they are so cute. Okay, there we go. Cute bunny. And then my sentiment, I think I'm putting that on with dimensionals. Now, I'll show you my sample card. For my sample, and I haven't put down this piece yet either. For my sample, you can see how I put my ribbon behind the the sentiment piece like that. And I don't know this time, since I've got the ribbon going down the page, I may end up doing it a little different this time. But I'm trying to find, okay, here's my sentiment. Where did I put that piece? That goes right here. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, that might be it right there. There it is. So it's going to go right here. So let me go ahead and glue that down. Yeah, I use dimensionals. And again, I don't want the dimensionals to come out here, so I have to be careful where I put them. That time I didn't bring it out as far as I wanted to, because I had put the dimensionals on and forgot not to put so many on there. So I wasn't able to bring it out as far as I would have liked to, but that's okay. All right, so here's this piece. Now, if this, so the back of this paper were these little trees, and if this had not been directional, I could have put this piece right here, but then my trees would be sideways. So I didn't want to put that piece there, which is why I used this piece of designer paper from the annual catalog. And so I could put this right here and have it hang over a little bit. Do I want to put a bow? I might put a bow. I think I'm going to put a bow down here to help cover this up a little bit. And so I'm going to put this pretty much right, just a little bit off center. So I want my dimensionals to stop about right there. So let's get my dimensionals. I'm going to try to use some of these up. So y'all need to use the edges of your dimensionals. Don't throw them away. Go around and cut these like so. All right. For the most part, I want to use these big ones. Put that there. Put that there. Put one here. Come back. I'm not dropping that one. There. And there. Let's get one right here in the middle. I think the piece is off the back of that one totally. It's odd. It's not. It's just some of the paper stuck to it. There we go. Ah, come on. Okay. That paper stuck to it now with the wrong side. It doesn't want to. Let's just get rid of that one. It's just going to cause problems. Let's see if I can pick this one up. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. It'll be right here. There we go. Straight. And let's do a bow. I'll go ahead and put my pin back in this. I'm trying to see if my glue dots are still up here. Put them back down in the basket. Yes, they're here because I'm going to need that to put my bow on. That's good. All right. And I usually just leave my ribbon on the spool when I do it. And I still usually waste some ribbon, but I don't waste as much when I leave it on the spool. And so when I cut it, I can cut it off where it's less waste. This fabric does tie a pretty nice bow, but you can't get a really, really small bow out of it, which I don't necessarily want it to be real small, but I didn't want it real big either, so because of my little bird down there, I don't want it to be too big. But I do want to kind of cover up some of my mess right here. So I'm going to stick it, I think I'm going to just stick it right there, or maybe right here. Well, I can stick it here. Try to pull that just a touch. I felt like one loop was a little bit bigger than the other. Okay, and here's my glue dots. Stick it right here. I'm going to put another one right here. I'll put a third one right here. That'll also help hold down that ribbon a little bit better. I say that. It's moving on me. Okay. One off. That one off. That one off. A little ribbon. Okay. There we go. Ta-da! So cute. And so we just got to put one more finishing touch on this card. We want it to glisten a little bit, so it's has some little extra shine. We want the shine on the snow, especially if you live where it snows, which it doesn't snow a lot here, but I have seen snow, especially for a while I lived in the mountains of western North Carolina, and you know, we usually got snow every winter. In the few years that I lived there. But I know some of you get tons of snow. But if you happen to catch the sun on the snow, then it kind of glistens. The snow kind of glistens. So we're going to make our snow glisten. And to do that, I'm going to pull out my little splatter shield here that I used with these cardboard pieces that came out of the paper pumpkin. And my Wink of Stella. So I'm going to add some wink to the card by tapping on it with my bone folder here. And we're going to be finishing this up. So again, this is Kim with Kim's Creations and Card Ministries. And I try to send out as many cards as I can to nursing homes, people in rehab, homebound people, several times a year, Meals on Wheels. And hopefully I can bring a smile to someone's face. That's kind of like my mission. And so if you want to help me with my mission at all, just give me a shout out. You can message me. I don't know if I got enough. Okay. You can message me through email, text messaging. You can message me on here. I'll respond to your comments on here. I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm going to turn it the other way. And you can purchase things from the store through me as your demonstrator. Or just if you need help with placing the order, I can help you with that too. You want me to do it for you. So, here we go. Yeah, I gotta get my Christmas cards finished up to take up to Meals on Wheels. Here we go. Got our card is finished. I've got plenty of Wink of Stella on there. I don't know if you can see it, but trust me, it is there. So I'm gonna add some Wink highlights before I put it up. I'm gonna put a little bit extra on my bunny here, on like his ears and his little cheek. Put a little extra here on the bird, on his beak and his little eye. A little bit on his wing here. And we'll put a little bit extra on our reindeer, on his little ear and his little face. Bring him out a little bit. Maybe on his little spur here around his head. I guess that's kind of like a mane on a horse. All right, just to add a few extra pieces of glisten, snow glisten. And I'm not going to put any gems on there because I don't want to take away from the cute characters of the card. So there's the finished card. And here is the one that I used as my sample, which is a little different because my deer's going the other way. He has a scarf on, and part of him was missing, so I just put him up against the edge of the paper there, so I don't waste these end pieces on my paper. And so it's set up just a little bit differently. So there's the two cards, and I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. So I'm going to come back again tomorrow evening. I know I said I was going to do it tonight, but I ended up being at the birthday party longer than I thought I would be. But come back and show y'all my little holder to put the candy and stuff in that I did at Thanksgiving. I'm going to make a bunch of those to take to work this week for co-workers. So thank you guys for joining me. If you're here, be sure and let me know you were here. Say hi, leave a comment, share, tell me where you're from. And if you'd like to get a free Christmas card, I'll mail you a Christmas card if you'll send me a text message or an email with your address. Y'all have a great night. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.